Over the last 10 years, live service games have taken over. In a lot of ways, these games are an evolution of the classic Call of Duty map packs that brought new content to the newest game every 3 months until the next entry dropped the following year. In fact, the origin of a modern live service game can really be traced all the way back to World of Warcraft, a game designed with addictive gameplay that kept players engaged, logging back in month after month to pay those subscriptions and buy new expansions for nearly 20 years. That's the name of the game for developers wanting to build a successful live service game. Hook players in and keep them playing and paying for as long as possible. The PS4 and Xbox One generation is where live service games as we know them today really took hold. Warframe and Destiny set the tone at the beginning of this console generation, hooking millions of players with fantastic gameplay and a satisfying XP grind, while also delivering a steady rotation of updates, in-game events, and rewards each week. Larger expansions always bring a large spike in total player count, but these developers leaned into the idea that a continual stream of new content, sprinkled with bits of lore, didn't just give jaded players a reason to come back to the game, many would never even leave to begin with. The discovery of this never-ending content model lined up perfectly with the rise of Twitch, a site built around the idea of watching people grind and play video games. At least, that's what it used to be. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Overwatch, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, and more all followed in Destiny's footsteps and focused on creating a constant flow of content that leaned into the hype, hooked players with the gameplay, and locked them in with battle passes and content updates for years to come. The trick is that, through the years, players have stayed hooked to their live service game of choice like a bad habit. Whether someone logs in to do their Fortnite dailies or is staying up late to finish the latest Call of Duty Battle Pass ahead of the next season, players are spending more time in the games that they're familiar with and invested in, and there's only so much time in the day. On the flip side, developers are still following the trend, bringing live service elements into new games with the hope of winning players over with something new and fresh. But as players get deeper and deeper into their favorite games, getting the most dedicated players to try something new is an uphill battle. The problem is that 10 years into this live service gold rush, the grind doesn't sell itself anymore like it did with the original Destiny. In a world where every big game has intricate progression systems and battle passes, we're getting back to the basics of a game having to truly be great to stand out and succeed. Crash Team Rumble was a trend chaser, bringing a 4v4 team-based multiplayer game sprinkled in with nostalgia for that iconic marsupial. It launched at a budget price of $30, gave players the option of a standard $10 seasonal battle pass, and it still brings regular content updates and mode rotations in to keep things fresh. But it just didn't have that hook. Not that it was a bad game, but it's just not good enough to compete with the live service games that people already know they love. A recent VG247 article pointed out that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Skull and Bones could be looking down the barrel of the exact same situation. For Suicide Squad, the Marvel's Avengers game that came out a couple of years ago already paints a picture of how this one is likely to go. It launched, players fell off, and the game shut down. Rocksteady is promising years of free new content and battle passes that respect the player's time, which I appreciate, but would players rather just have the standard experience they've come to expect from Rocksteady, rather than a Suicide Squad game that's squeezed to fit into a live service box? On the Skull and Bones side, it's hard to imagine this game faring any better after years of delays and negative reception to the point that it's almost become a meme. But still, the devs are pushing ahead with a year one roadmap showing players what they can expect to see, or at least hear about, for the future. The truth is that live service games aren't going anywhere. But with player time at a premium, it's going to be difficult for anything other than games like Fortnite and Call of Duty to really take hold. It's not impossible. Sea of Thieves, Fall Guys, The Division 2, and more have all pulled it off. But for any new game coming into the space, it's harder than ever to keep players logging back in month after month, and that's if your game can hook them at all. You can't set a new trend without taking a risk, but with the industry cutting budgets and layoffs running rampant, this trend of betting big on live service games, keeping players engaged for years, could be on its way out if 2 of 2024's biggest releases pan out the way the internet seems to think they will. But as always, I'd love to know your thoughts down below. And if you're new here and you enjoy what you see or what you hear, hit that subscribe button for videos like this every week and gaming news shorts throughout the week to keep you in the loop, and I'll catch you on the next one.